One Kenyan YouTube political channel where we unpack Kenyan's biggest political headlines. My name is always Jacob Nyende, and today I want us to dive into unveiling 5 reasons why Raila Odinga cannot save William Ruto from the impending 2027 election failure, the coming general election. Why Raila Odinga cannot save William Ruto from losing the votes at the ballot in 2027. Now, William Ruto, as it stands now, is fully aware that he has lost a grip on the mountain. He has lost almost 5 million votes that he got in the last election from the Mount Kenya region. And this has made him to clinch on Raila Odinga, whom now he's counting on when it comes to 2027. And he's hoping that Raila Odinga is not going to be slippery so that together they can make a coalition in 2027. But the following are 5 reasons why I believe that Raila Odinga cannot save William Ruto when it comes to 2027. Now, 2027 is not far from us, just 1 year apart, and we have seen already the political battle line has been drawn and political reformation is ongoing. People are realigning with their respective, respective political affiliations. And this is critical because you see, Raila Odinga and William Ruto are only counting on, if I can say, 3 regions. Number 1, Raila Odinga is the kingpin of the Nyanza region, and Ruto is the kingpin of the Rift Valley area. And therefore, these 2 major regions are the only regions that William Ruto and Raila Odinga are counting on. They are also counting on the part of the coast where Ali Hassan Joho is coming from, and that's why they gave him a position in the government. So they are counting on those areas. But even in those areas, speaking the truth, the people in those areas are tired, and time has come when I think Kenyans in those areas also are going to decide that we are not going to follow a political party, or we are not going to follow a certain individual just because he has been given some money in the government, just because he's sitting there eating and enjoying alone without us. We are not going to follow that kind of person. And this is the time in the Kenyan election that I believe that the Kenyans are going to follow their heart. They are going to reinterrogate themselves, discuss with themselves, and then decide insightly on what they are going to do. Now, number 1, why Raila Odinga will not save William Ruto in 2027 is that because the Nyanza region, as we all know, Raila Odinga has always been on the ballot. And if there is one thing that has always helped and motivated the people of the Nyanza region to vote massively, is because Raila Odinga has always been on the ballot. But I want you to tell me, if Raila Odinga is not going to be on the ballot, what is this one thing that is going to motivate the people of Nyanza to wake up early in the morning and go and cast their votes for William Ruto? So there is going to be a very high voter apathy in the Nyanza region. Not many of them are going to turn up. Not many of them are going to wake up early in the morning as they usually do to vote for Raila Odinga, because Raila Odinga has been always on the ballot, and that has been a motivating factor for the people of the Nyanza region. Reason number 2, ladies and gentlemen, why Raila Odinga will not save William Ruto from the impending danger in 2027, where William Ruto is going to fail terribly. Number 2 is because of the Mount Kenya factor, ladies and gentlemen. We understand very well that in the last election, William Ruto garnered around 5 million votes from the Mount Kenya region. They voted massively for this guy. And as we speak right now, even William Samoei himself and his camp, they are very sure that they have lost grip of the Mount Kenya vote. They are very sure with that. They have lost grip on the Mount Kenya vote, and that's a truth. We cannot say anything about that. And William Ruto knows like that. And the people of Mount Kenya have already booked a date with William Ruto on the 8th of August, 2027. They are just waiting for him on that particular day. That is the day they have a date with him. And their mission, their agenda, their objective, and their goal is just one: remove William Ruto from the seat, from the office in 2027, August 8th. That is the date that they have booked. And this particular date that the Mount Kenya people have with William Ruto on the 8th of August 2027, ladies and gentlemen, is very dangerous to William Ruto. It is very dangerous to William Ruto. Number 2, or to add on that factor of Mount Kenya region, ladies and gentlemen, recently we saw that Uhuru Kenyatta is actually behind Rigathi Gachagua. And this was revealed during Kalonzo Musyoka's event in Muna, where he hosted the opposition leader, ladies and gentlemen. I know you might not have seen Uhuru Kenyatta physically in the Kalonzo Musyoka's event, but I want to let you know why Uhuru Kenyatta was present in that event. And that tells us that Uhuru Kenyatta is fully behind Rigathi Gachagua in 2027. Very significant people appeared in that event, ladies and gentlemen, that showed that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is now very solidly behind Gachagua and Matiang'i, and he's supporting and backing them fully. Number one, the presence of Peter Munya at Kalonzo Musyoka's event, ladies and gentlemen, is a significant event. It's a significant thing. Peter Munya is an associate of Uhuru Kenyatta. And ever since Rigathi Gachagua began his mission to consolidate the votes of Mount Kenya region, Peter Munya has been on the other side. But recently we saw him. Another important figure that showed up in that event that showed that Uhuru Kenyatta has approved, ladies and gentlemen, is the Secretary General of Jubilee himself, Jeremiah Kioni. Jeremiah Kioni was seen seated with Rigathi Gachagua at Muna in Kalonzo Musyoka's home, discussing politics. What does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Politically, that tells you that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has consented for, number one, the Secretary General of Jubilee, Jeremiah Kioni, to appear at Muna in Kalonzo Musyoka's event to tell them that we are together. Because we all know that the mouthpiece of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is none other than Jeremiah Kioni, who is the Secretary General of Jubilee. Ever since Rigathi Gachagua began to go around holding rallies, we have never seen Jeremiah Kioni in that rally. Even the one that was at Wamunyoro, Jeremiah Kioni never showed up. And Jeremiah Kioni has been speaking negative of Rigathi Gachagua. Jeremiah Kioni has been only advancing the agenda of Red Matiang'i with the Jubilee. But with his appearance at Kalonzo Musyoka's event, where Kalonzo Musyoka was hosting the entire opposition team to discuss on the way forward when it comes to 2027, that tells you that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has already consented that they should support Rigathi Gachagua. And ladies and gentlemen, this is also dangerous to William Samuel Ruto. Many of Kenyans are thinking that Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta are not in good terms. No, that is a lie. Immediately, Rigathi Gachagua was ousted out of the government of William Ruto. He rushed home. He realized that I have made a previous mistake with my brother and I need to make things right. And that was the first step that he did. He went, met Uhuru Kenyatta. They sat down and they discussed issues. He sought forgiveness from Uhuru Kenyatta. And Uhuru Kenyatta forgave him. And Uhuru Kenyatta gave him his blessing. But we also saw recently how William Ruto also rushed to Uhuru Kenyatta to salvage him, to save him from this political shame. But that one, looking at the events that have transpired at Muna, at Kalonzo Musyoka's event, it tells you that solidly Uhuru Kenyatta is behind Rigathi Gachagua. So now tell me, if Uhuru Kenyatta is behind Rigathi Gachagua, and the majority of Kenyans are behind the opposition, the Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigathi Gachagua team, tell me, where will William Ruto escape the losing of the vote in 2027? Ladies and gentlemen, another critical factor that tells you that Raila will not be able to salvage William Ruto's lose of election in 2027, he will not be able to save him, is the fact that a majority of Raila Odinga's allies are not fully in support of the broad-based government. Like, for example, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at people like Nuru Kanga. They might seem very little, but we have seen in the previous days how this guy was speaking on behalf of Raila Odinga, how they could do anything for Raila Odinga. People like Sifuna, people like James Orengo, people like the governor for Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o, these guys are not in fully support of the broad-based government. Now tell me, if these guys are the allies of Raila Odinga, and some of them are diehards of Raila Odinga, like Sifuna, like somebody like the governor for Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o, if they are not in full support of the broad-based government, now make me believe, convince me why these people will not tell their supporters to vote against William Ruto in the Nyanza region, right? Why? Because these guys are not in fully support of the issue of William Ruto and Raila Odinga working together. So this will manifest in the votes, apart from the low turnout of voters in the Nyanza region, because these people are always motivated by the fact that Raila Odinga is on the ballot. But once Raila Odinga name is scrapped off from the ballot, there is no motivation that will motivate the people from Nyanza to wake up early in the morning, as early as 3 a.m. to prepare to go and vote for William Samuel Ruto. So a majority of them will not come. So the turnout in the Nyanza region is going to be very low. Rift Valley may turn up to vote for William Ruto, but also another question mark is placed on the coastal region. In as much as Joho has been given a place or a position in the William Ruto's government, doesn't mean that the people of the coastal region are going to vote for him, ladies and gentlemen. Another reason why Raila Odinga will not be of significant importance to William Ruto when it comes to 2027, ladies and gentlemen, is the factor of the fact that Ruto himself has lost his hustler narrative. We all know the narrative that William Ruto used to get power and gain support of Kenyans. He used the narrative of the hustler nation. And he used to go around telling people, inciting people that those people in government, the deep state, what he referred to us as the deep states, they are against the common mwananchi. Now, right now, how can you make any Kenyan believe that William Samuel Ruto is not part of the deep state? So he used to go around with that narrative, telling people, the deep state does not want the common poor people to get into power. But right now he has completely lost that narrative, and he has no narrative right now. What will he tell people on his campaign trails? What we have seen him developing or starting to tell Kenyans is telling Kenyans that, I have removed people from the slum. I have put them in mansions in Mukuru kwa Njenga, in Kibra. That narrative, no Kenyan is going to buy into that narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be very hard for Ruto to clinch into power in 2027 also, because Ruto has also lost what we call international support. We all know when he went to China, what he has done. He has lost the support of the superpower. And we know that in 2020, when we were doing the last election, William Ruto was supported by the American government, because the American government believed that if Raila Odinga could ascend to power, and then he could side with the other side of China, because Uhuru Kenyatta, who was supporting Raila Odinga at that time, was a pro-China president. So he used to lean so much on the Chinese for the support from the China. So the American people, under the leadership of the then retired president, Joe Biden, they supported William Ruto. So William Ruto has lost the support of the superpowers. They are no longer supporting his re-election when it comes to 2027. So William Ruto has made a lot of international diplomatic blunders that can never be accepted by the international community. And that's why even America, as we speak right now, they have condemned William Ruto through the administration of Donald Trump. They have really condemned William Samuel Ruto. And McCune, William Ruto has been accused by the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, of being in support of the armed forces, the criminals activity that is happening in Sudan, where women and children are being slaughtered. And it is being accused to William Ruto that the ammunition, the weapons that are being used to kill people in Sudan are being bought and transported using Kenyan aeroplanes. The other day, we saw how a Kenyan pilot was killed by the Sudan's government officers when he was dropping weapons at a certain airport that is owned by the gang people in Sudan. So William Ruto has been blamed by the international community for being in support, for supporting the gangs in Sudan to kill women and children. And Rigathi Gachagua was very loud on that. And William Ruto has never come out to deny that fact, all right? So the international community, the superpowers are no longer supporting William Ruto. So if the superpowers are not supporting William Ruto, and the majority of Raila Odinga supporters are not supporting William Ruto, then tell me how he's going to win this election. It's going to be very hard, though majority of Kenyans are arguing that William Ruto is a little politician and that he knows very well how to calculate. But this time, what the Kenyans are saying is that it doesn't matter whether he is lethal or not, because at the ballot, William Ruto does not elect himself. They are the Kenyans who go and elect a president and elect the leaders. And therefore, if William Ruto is going to pass, then leaders must elect him. And these times, when we talk of the issue of election rigging, this time around, I think it is going to be very, very difficult. We have seen what the Gen Zs can be able to do. People in this country are very learned when it comes to the issue of IT, how to use IT, how to monitor these votes, and the people are coming up with their own mechanisms. And I want to believe that as we approach 2027 on the 8th of August, when people are going to cast their votes on the ballot, we are going to see, apart from the National Tallying Center, we are going to see other tallying centers with the new Jebukatis of Gen Z being ready there to monitor the votes from the machinani. And therefore, it is going to be very hard for William Ruto to use the strategy of election rigging to clinch on power in 2027. All right? So things are starting to fall apart for Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And for Raila Odinga, I'm told he's going to stick with William Ruto to try and help him acquire power in 2027. Because people are tired, sincerely speaking. People are tired. Because look at the economy. Right now, even if you have 1,000 in your pocket, it cannot even help you because the economy has really deteriorated and the price of goods and commodities have really gone down. So Raila Odinga will not be of any use to William Samoei Ruto because that guy has made a lot of blunders, ladies and gentlemen. In the comment section, I want to see what is your take on the question at hand right now. Will Raila Odinga be able to save William Ruto in 2027? Let me see that in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Because time has come when Kenyans now must rise up and defend their own dignity, their own country, defend themselves, demand for accountability, not through their elected leaders. Because where the problem began in this country, the problem began with our members of parliament. That's where the problem began. That's where everything began. Because we saw when William Ruto went into power, he was not the majority in parliament. And we saw that. But immediately he realized that he's not the majority. He started to buy our members of parliament. So our suffering, even before we raise our fingers and condemn William Ruto, we need to start with our members of parliament. Does your member of parliament go to parliament to represent you and me, or does your member of parliament get into parliament to represent himself and his selfish interests before William Samoei Ruto? The critical question that we can be asking our members of parliament, even at the time that they will be coming back, seeking re-election, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that can this person be bought? Because the buying of these members of parliament is what has facilitated and enabled Dr. William Samoei Ruto to even bring into existence laws and regulations that are oppressive to the common mwananchi. If the members of parliament were sane enough to stand firm, to represent the mwananchi as the constitution puts it, and then this country will not be in a mess that we are in. Those people in the cabinet, those people in parliament have allowed William Ruto to do what he wants with this country at his own will. They are no longer representing the people. They are representing their own selfish interests. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end there. But before I end, I would like you to get in the comment section and let me know if William Samoei Ruto will be able to be saved by Raila Odinga during 2027 election. This is Vox Politica. My name is Jacob Nyende. You are here. You have to subscribe. Kindly take a second, hit the subscription button, smash the notification bell so that you will help us reach a wider audience. And with that, I beg to leave you. Let me see you in our next live video. Thank you.